intro music. All right, and here we go. Now the screen should be on, okay? Everyone say hi.
Hi.
Say hi if you're excited about this class.
Subscribe to Agsusha 1.
Sorry, they didn't hear that. Okay. All right, so this is the exciting piece of information we're going to talk about today. This is the 2025 Saskatchewan Personal Tax Credits Return. You've all been waiting for this, okay? So as I mentioned just before we started recording, if you have a job, you've had to fill one of these out, okay? So this gets filled out when you have a new job, or if you are, actually we're going to go to page 2 here because it requests us to go to page 2 to read page 2 first. And so I am going to start here. And it says this, okay? So before filling this out, fill out this form if you have taxable income in Saskatchewan, and any of the following apply. So if you are starting a job here in our home province of Saskatchewan, where we are, then you will get this form to fill out because the employer needs to know how much tax to be deducted to send to the government, okay? For example, if you have a new employer or payer, and you will receive salary, wages, commission, pension, employment, blah, 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 or any other remuneration, so money for your services. If you want to change the amounts previously claimed, or if you want to increase the amount of tax deducted at source. So when it says at source, that means your employer is taking money off your check. You're not even seeing it. They're sending it straight to the government, okay, for tax on your income. All right, so if you have more than one employer at a time, you're going to check this box. Okay, this is also important. If your total income is going to be less than the total claim amount, so once we're done the first page, if your total income is less than the money that shows up on the first page in the last box here, then you tick this box and guess what? Then your employer or payer will not deduct tax from your earnings. So if you are going to make less than the money that you claim on this form, then you won't see, your employer won't send the taxes to the government, okay? So for students, a lot of times this is what happens. You don't make more than this money. Now, this has gone up in years. This is the basic personal amount over here, and it's for 2025, it's $19,491, which means that, okay, let's read. What does the basic personal income amount actually mean? Sorry, I'm trying to zoom in here. Every person employed in Saskatchewan and every pensioner residing in Saskatchewan can claim this amount. If you will have more than one employer or payer at the same time, see more than one employer. Okay, so your basic personal amount. So this money represents basically the this money is what you get you can make without having taxes. Okay, so you're like, hey, I'm working, so the government won't tax this first amount. So if you make less than $19,000 a year, like you're just working super part-time during school, and you're making less than $19,491 a year, then you won't get any tax deducted. But your employer needs to kind of know that. So this is the basic personal amount that you can claim as tax-free income, as a tax credit. You see this? So age amount. Now there are other points that we will read. Age amount, if you're going to be 65 or older, okay, and your net income will be less than $43,000, enter 5785. So you can put 5785 in here, and this will add to your tax credit. A senior supplementary amount, again, if you're 65 or older, and enter $2,028 in this line. And so if you're a retired person and you're receiving benefits, or you got a part-time job or whatever, you'd have to put that in there. And then you get more of a credit, so they'll allow you to make a little bit more money without taxing you. Pension income amount, okay, you put the money in here. Disability amount. If you will claim the disability amount on your income tax and benefit return, blah, 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 then enter this number, $13,986. So if you have a disability and you will report that on your tax form, then you can put that amount there. That will add to your tax credits. Okay, spouse or common law partner. If you are supporting a spouse or common law partner, or all the conditions apply, then you can put in this amount. You may enter a partial amount of your partner's net income for the year, blah, 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 if it'll be between this. Okay. All right, so enter 19,491 here if you are claiming for a spouse. That's the same as the personal amount there for you. okay? So if you have a spouse and you're supporting them, you can also increase your initial tax credit that won't be taxed by putting that same number here, because you're basically working for another person. The amount of eligible dependent, okay, so you can put a full $19,000 if you are supporting dependents. That means children, or you have a spouse that doesn't live with you, or a dependent, like a child that's related to you and lives with you, or a dependent that has a net income of $1,900 or less. Okay, so I won't go through all of them. Child amount, if you have child you're supporting, you put amount there. Caregiver amount, if you are actually responsible for caring for someone, a dependent or someone that lives with you, then you can put more money in there, and that's more of a credit for you. If you have an infirmed dependent, so like a dependent that infirmed is, I think, with a disability or cannot work for some physical or mental handicap, I believe. I don't think it's actually infirmed, like hospitalized, but it could be. I have to look into that one. But yeah, if you have a dependent with a disability, that's different than this one. So we have to look into that info. I don't know about that one, to be honest, what the definition of infirm technically is for this tax document, but that's something we can look at. Transferred from a spouse, okay, blah, blah, blah. Transferred from a dependent, okay, so on, so on. So you guys will probably fill none of these boxes in other than just the first one. This probably doesn't, you're not a senior, you're not dependent on anybody, you're not married, you don't have a disabled child that you're supporting, or a grandma in India that you're supporting, probably. So there's nothing that you would fill out. So you would add up all the lines, and for you guys, you would just put that total, if you don't have anything else filled in, right there at the bottom, okay? Also, I skipped over this part, but obviously you put your name, last name first name and initials, date of birth in this format. So you have to read very carefully. Sometimes there's specific formats we have to fill this out. So don't put May 12th, 2007. No, it's 2007/05/ what did I say, May 12th? 12. Okay, you have to put it that way. Employee number, probably your employer will fill this in for you unless they email you and say, here's the form and here's your employee number. Put this in. So they'll probably do that. But your address, postal code, one letter or number per space. If you're not a resident, which country do you come from, and your social insurance number. Notice this is very important. Alrighty. So yeah, for you guys as students, you'll probably just copy that amount right down there. And if you are working super part-time and you're going to make $5,000 a year over the whole year, then you can check this box. Boom, I'm making less than my total claimed amount. And so your employer will not send any money to the government that you have to apply to get back. Does that make sense? Okay, you can go online, you can call. If you call, be prepared to wait online for an hour and a half. But anyways, hello, yeah, hi. I called you 5 hours ago. Anyways, they don't answer the phone very quickly. Any questions about that? Okay, so that is a personal tax credit return. You're gonna need to know about that. There you go. No questions? We're good to go. Awesome. All right. If you're excited that this part of the lesson is done, say, yay. Or actually, because it's Western Day, say, yeehaw! Yeehaw. Okay, all right. That was the most unenthusiastic yeehaw I've ever heard. But still, I'm glad you're excited that it's done.